welcome back to the resurrected stream of Reaper Pro Tips. Oh, and Kiki, who's scratching at the carpet, as usual. With me, your host and Disembodied Hands, Quindy, Disembodied Beard John, and all of you. Hey, Jetta. I mean, normally it's regular, yeah, whatever size. I don't know what size Reaper wanted to do it, which I just abandoned, yes. Hello, Rice Seeker. Hello, hello. Oh. Yeah, I just left the Pacific Northwest. It was not so beautiful, however, on, the morning we left was freezing. Hey, D. Clearman, I see you there with that resub. 65 months. That is a long time. Yeah, it is sad you can only join on vacation. You need a job like these other people have where you can just just watch when you're at work. Oops, did I say that? Ignore that, bosses. Ignore that, bosses everywhere. You know that's what your employees want to do anyway, though. Yeah, everybody, it would be better if he was smaller. But I assume, I don't know, I mean, he's a 3D print, right? So we don't know how big he'll be. We drove through Portland, but didn't really stop. There's no good place to stop in Portland on the road. Not easy, anyway. But yeah. We had one beautiful day and one crappy day in Seattle. And then a couple of beautiful days out at the dog show, but that was a lot further west. They showed him on the last Reaper Live. Meaning when you're on I-5 going through, like, freaking Portland, you're just like, arrgh. Yeah, I know he's in the Ghoulie bag, but I don't know what size. Is he 28mm size? That's too bad. I'd hoped because they could make him just a little bigger, but yeah, that's all right. That was the plan. I mean, Jason warned me, and I warned you guys about it the minute I showed you this model, that it was not going to be this big. But I am lucky and on Jason's good size because I painted him a pugling. So, thus, I got this given to me. And Ron said I could paint it and take pictures of it for him because no one will know that it's big. Except you guys. But yeah, Portland, I mean, the weather was nice when we went through Portland. It's just that I'm like a fan of like stopping at rest stops and travel stops and not in the middle of cities when you're on the road. Because I never know where anything is. Good morning, Inara. Good morning. Alrighty. Well, let us get to it. What part do you guys want to start with? The bat? I assume you want to start with the bat. That was kind of my thought, that you would want to start with the bat. And I decided to zenith this one so we could get some dramatic light. About the size of the chibis. Well, that's not bad. Chibi size not bad. It means that overall he's bigger. So, because he's as tall as... So that means this whole thing is as tall as 2 chibis, right? Technically. If that's right. So, yeah. Pumpkin? Everybody wants the pumpkin. At least Inara wants the pumpkin first. I was actually feeling orange today, so I'm okay with the pumpkin. Let's mix it up. Where is my orange brown? So, depending on how orange you want your pumpkin, there are a couple of colors you can start with. If you want a more muted pumpkin, then you can use orange brown highlighted with some burnt orange. You can also do what I'll probably do today. Let's see, what color do I want to use, though? You can also mix in something like sunrise or volcanic orange, which, as you can see, is very, very different, right? So it depends on how bright you want stuff. Now, I've got a candy corn up there, which is, you know, kind of pastel-y, but still fairly intense. So I probably would use volcanic. Volcanic over sunrise in this case because these have pretty good coverage, and so does volcanic. So we'll essentially reinforce that we've got good coverage. And I'll start there. And what I'll do is probably mix burnt orange and sunrise to make a highlight. So if you don't want to use the muted option or the vibrant option, you can do a mix of both, and it usually gives you really good results. We know that the bat is going to be brown, so we know that he's going to be a neutral. And the mushrooms, I'm probably going to give the red cap with the white spots because, well, Jason has obligingly sculpted them with spots. So, let us get our palette down here and get an orange mixed up for this pumpkin's base. But yeah, I decided I wanted to do a zenith. I thought about doing it all in white, but the black primer zenith does help you shade. Just gives you a little extra assist on the shading. Oh, that's bummer, Laura. Sorry you're going through that right now. But yeah, so let's get these guys. Boop, boop, boop. There. Alright, so orange-brown, which is actually, I really like orange-brown, and it's a lot more vibrant than you think. No, I said October 1st, Twisted Oma. You might have forgotten. But I specifically wanted to start him the 1st of October, and we're just going to paint him every day until he's done. And then we'll switch to something else. I might have another Halloween model. I might not. I'm not sure if I do. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Remember to shake up. Because orange-brown is made in that yellow base, it can be a little bit stubborn on how shaking it up. So remember to shake it up. Okay. Otherwise, we had a pretty good... out of all of the trips, I think, that I took this year... There, we'll put one drop in and see how that is. It was a big drop. Out of all the trips I took this year, I think the one I just got back from was the least stressful, which is very good. Didn't really have to do anything or be anyone. Except at the dog show, I had to be the resident expert a couple of times, but... Overall, though, pardon me, take your allergy pill, Quindy. It's really dry here today, and it's going to be really hot. Yeah, everybody just mixed up thinking that the 1st was a Monday, yep. Nope, we left on Sunday. Still driving yesterday. Gonna put one drop of water in there, mix it up, see what I got. So just that little bit of volcanic orange really intensifies that orange, and now it looks very pumpkin-y. Gotta clean off my glasses here. I am back. I'm wishing that we gotten back a day earlier so I could get my we've got like lumpies on this pumpkin. This was a lumpy pumpkin. That's cool. Not many people sculpt lumpy pumpkins, but they're a thing. Yeah, that's a good color. I'm gonna switch to my non-mixing brush though. Why don't we go to our number 2 Winsor & Newton for this base coat? I don't use my big brushes enough. Ghoulie bags are up today! Oh, and the free minis you get to pick from our Bonsylvanians. That's cool. I love the werewolf. He's my favorite. We painted him last year. Hey there, Crowley! Thanks for the resub. 56 friggin' months. That is, as D. Clerman just said, a long time. A long time. So when I stretch the paint a little bit thinner, I put it on very thick up at the top. You can see through it. You can see that the black primer starts to make the orange go almost a little green. Let's get in focus. I totally forgot to focus. There we go. Oh, yuck. Yeah, I'm sorry you're still dealing with that, Honora. Yeah, no, it was the 1st of October. I know a lot of people got confused. Blame the calendar, not me. With such a big model, you kind of have to pick your battles as far as keeping painting against a wet edge. I'm just going to swap back and forth. If you leave your paint a little thicker, it will take longer to dry so that you can get that smooth base coat. Oh, I missed a spot. I missed a strut. I was going over this last night, getting all the 3D print supports off, and I totally missed that one right on the mouth there. If you have to stop, eventually you will. Try to stop on an indent or something that will disguise any brush strokes. So here we have the part of the pumpkin, you know, since it has lobes, we've got this crease right here, so we're just going to paint that and then move on back to the other side. It's just sadly dry, but that is what we risk. So again, we've got lobes over here, so I'm going to finish on one and then go down and do the underjaw. And I could put a little bit more water in this if I want it to go a little smoother. If you can see brush strokes, then your paint is actually too thick. I'm seeing just a little bit where the paint's not leveling because I was trying to keep it thicker. But when you can see it kind of flow together nicely like that, then you know you have it at the right consistency. Up here I did see some brush strokes and patchy parts. It just won't give you as smooth of a base coat, but if you do go this way with your first layer, you can always come back with your second layer and smooth it out by adding a little water to your paint and then putting another layer over the top. Now, if we're going to take advantage of this zenith, we actually don't want to go totally opaque over this. We want thinner paint. Oh, I forgot his little eyeball. And we will make his eyes lit up, I think. So we'll need to underpaint that in white. You guys painting a smaller version of this won't have as much trouble as I am getting everything painted before it dries, since you'll be working on a much smaller figure. Okay, I think we'll be pretty good. So we have two choices with the zenith highlighting, zenith priming. And one is that we purposefully don't paint really solidly over it so that we can continue to use it. The other is that we just use it as a guide as to where our shading is going to be and how dark our shading should be. So, for example, I can see the black primer through down here, so I can right away maybe grab some brown and make sure that this part of the pumpkin stays darker in line with the primer. That's probably the most useful way to do it, unless you're painting with sketch where you're leaving a lot of undercoat showing through with glazes. Most of us are going to start covering up that zenith at some point or another, and it can be harder to paint with glazes over zenith like that, although you can certainly try it out. I like to start with an undercoat, and I do tend to end up covering a lot of it up, but then I use it as a guide. Let's get the rest of this orange on. So I'll probably use it as a guide here. There's a little toad, he's cute. The dog show went well. I think we found a boyfriend for Kiki. And I totally forgot to post on the Discord. We went to the Bonsai Museum south of Seattle. And I love, as you guys may remember, I really love bonsai trees. I used to do that as a hobby. I'd like to get back into it, but right now with the traveling and everything, since we travel a lot every year, baby trees are very prone to drying out quickly, and it would just sentence them to death. So, but I'll show you guys some pictures. Kiki's potential boyfriend is named Orion. He is a massive Shiloh Shepherd. He is a young guy. He's I had kind of had my eye on him all along because I really like his parents. But I wasn't sure because I'd never met him, right? And that's the nice thing about going to these shows is that you get to actually meet the dogs and see if they're really good candidate. He is very goofy and friendly to people, and he is very playful with other dogs. So he has a good temperament. Puppy romance novel. No, thank you. I'm going to have a hard enough time switching gears to write a human romance novel, which starts today. It's on my to-do list. I need to finish. I'm late on one of my Patreon things. Sometimes I go a day late. When I'm traveling, it's very common. I haven't done it in a long time, but the collateral paint along is a day late, so I have to spend some time today finishing up that edit and posting that video. But then after that, it's all the Werewolf Paladin romance. You guys will be pleased to know that I talked David into watching the D&D movie with me while we were on vacation. So we have now seen the Chonky Dragon and the Ridiculous Paladin. I find him somewhat ridiculous. Although it was, I gotta say, that movie did better tongue-in-cheek than a lot of them do. Like, it was pretty well done. You never quite took it seriously as you were meant to. Have they figured out why, Inara? Hopefully they've got some potential whys for you so that you can keep it at bay. He is not, sadly, green users. He is not a smooth coat. The plan, hold on, let me see here. The plan is to, let me get a picture of him. I'm trying to find the place I need to get. Nope. Maybe I'll have to find my old pictures. Hold on. But the plan is that we do this just essentially breeding with a plush, one that would be a good match for the gene pool, etc., etc., etc. And then if it works out health-wise, here he is. Let me get to him. There we go. He's a bicolor. He's a big bicolor boy. That's Kiki's potential boyfriend. But yeah, the plan is that we breed to a dog that has really good health data so that we can get an idea of what Kiki throws. And then, and you can't see this because his owner is also tall, but he is 31 inches at the shoulder, guys, and 115 pounds. At only 18 months. So he's probably going to put on another 15 pounds and end up being a 31-inch. He's got a really good head, actually. He's a good boy. I love bicolors. I love this color pattern, so I'm all about it. So he's a very good boy, though. There he is with his owner. So you can see how big he is next to her. She's human included for scale, though she is tall. Yeah, I hope it improves too, Inara. Yeah, he's a big boy. So that's Kiki's potential boyfriend. But yeah, the plan is to use that because he's got really good health data behind him. And then if it works and we get good holters and everything, then I get to use my frozen semen on Kiri's brother. So that, and Kiri's brother is a smooth. And he may actually have been a double smooth because both parents were smooths. So there's a chance he got 2 copies of the smooth gene, and we only throw smooths in that litter. So that is my plan. I'm hoping that we get some, assuming that Kiki passes her health testing. Want to see some bonsai trees? They're really cool. They're really cool. Beautiful bonsai trees. Most of these are about 2 feet tall. Or I guess with the pot, they're about 2 feet tall. So they're actually about 18 inches. And then that one. I love it when they bleach the dead bark. This is there's a bonsai museum south of Seattle. So if you guys are in the area, you're ever going there, I highly recommend it. Beautiful, beautiful trees. I just love bonsai so much. There's a grove. And that one's probably about 15 inches tall. They're so cool. They're just so freaking cool. We had a really nice day for that. Really nice morning. Oh, there's a maple that David really liked. But yeah, it's so cool. I love miniature trees. Hold on. Oh, this one's really cool and artsy. The broken pot is really cool. Let's see about, oh, and this one was cool. They were doing pruning and stuff on that one. That one's also got a really cool stand. And the pot is up here, and then the tree cascades out of it. It's really cool. I love it. Let's see, any other cute dogs from the show? 1 second. There is a Kiri great-grandson was there, and he has her face almost. That's Silas. He's got her eyebrows, and he's almost got her muzzle markings, and he's got her bib. So he almost he's a Kiri great-grandson who looks almost exactly like a fluffy Kiri. Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's good, Thormel, that you can leave him outside. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And it takes years, it takes years and years and years and years. There were a couple really, really pretty bi-colored boys there. This was a handsome boy. One of Mindy's litters. He's got the light-colored eyes. Light-colored eyes are totally a thing in Shiloh's sometimes. There's Silas again. I liked Silas so much. I had to take a Kiri, because he just so reminds me so much of Kiri. But yeah, I always really like it. And then we had another bi-colored boy, but he was far away. I don't think I got, oh, maybe. He's so dark, though. He's got such dark eyes, and he's so dark. There he is. There he is. This is a different boy. We had a lot of bi-colors. A lot of dark dogs there. Just because of the dogs they've been breeding out west lately are dark, so we had a lot of dark colors. But yeah, handsome, handsome dogs. And, I forgot Freya. Here's a There, Freya. She had a little bit of a friendly ear. Freya was very, very beautiful. And she was the sweetest. She was just the sweetest, sweetest dog. She wins the best temperament award, in my opinion. She's just one of those super sweethearts who snuggles with her people. Just so cute. I like the whites. All right, there, dog show and tell. Yeah, they do take a lot of attention, just as far as the watering goes, but otherwise it's a hobby that's very slow, right? Like you have a flurry of activity where maybe you repot or you prune, but that's like one day, and then the bonsai just hangs around for, another several months, right? It's a slow hobby. It's not an instant gratification hobby, which is why I appreciate it. But yeah, it's nice that you can bring back your prospective rootstock and just plant them and leave them Thormel. That's really nice. I've always lived in climates where there's no way. There's no way that's possible. All right, so you can see the black primer coming through in that kind of greenish darkish tone there. So let's take a little bit of russet brown and mix it into our orange and get a good shadow color. Where did I put my russet brown? There it is. But yeah, in Texas it was just a death sentence for bonsai because everything was just so hot. I had to water them like twice a day, 3 times a day on the hot days. It was a lot of work. They all kind of died when I went through my old marriage. I just didn't have enough oomph to care about anything at that point. I've always wanted to get back into it, so I'll just have to wait until we're not traveling as much. Or I'll have to talk our neighbor, who's got a green thumb, into coming over and caring for my bonsai while we're gone. Yo, Pendrake. I haven't been on for 8 days, so I don't know who's been where. Gonna pop a drop of the volcanic in there and a drop of the orange brown and see what I get. Hey, Chibi Amy, long time no see. Wow. How's it going? Not surprised you're here for this Chibi bat. You must have figured out, you must have sensed in the ether that there was a chibi bat being painted. All right, so we're going to put those together. We're going to see what we're going to get. 5 pawpaw saplings. Not going to be bonsai. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you like the carnivorous ones? That's cool. Keeping those alive is also an art form. Yeah, I like bonsai. One of these days I'll give in and get back in. It's an expensive hobby. The good tree stock is not cheap, and neither are the pots. All right, so that's a pretty good shadow. It looks a lot like Harvest Brown, as a matter of fact. Should give you guys some clues as to the colors that are in Harvest Brown. So you could use Harvest. I still might take this a little darker. I'm going to see how dark it dries. I'm going to paint it, and I don't care if it's thin, by the way. You can see that it's kind of transparent. When we're painting a shadow, we don't need it to be solid coverage. Kind of like orchids that way, Twistedoma. Oh, good. How did the, oh, hubby came home with COVID. I'm so sorry. How did the con go for him, though? So I'm going to just paint some of this, a darker layer, wherever I see this dark zenith undercoat. And I'm going to actually go a little darker than this. And I've got my orange still open here, so I can grab it and I can do a wet blend along the border of these two colors right there to make them blend in. Oh, you have fun, Kara. We will see you. We'll see you hopefully later this week. I'll be back now for like 3 months. Be here. I'm a be here. Con went fairly well. Good. Oh, that's really nice, Chibi. I'm glad that you've got family support. Your hubby's got family support. I've decided that I'm going to do, it's kind of low-hanging fruit. I decided I wanted to do some large print editions for East of the Sun and West of the Moon. Since a lot of my reading demographic seems to be older. I have 4 things. 4 things to work on this month for book. 1 is start the new book, which is today. Starting the new book. Finally get to writing something new. Can't wait. Second is the large print stuff, which just pretty much, I'm going to just start querying kind of about it. I need to figure out what size font is typical for large print. Then I need to format a prospective book and see how many pages it comes in at. And then I need to sweet talk my cover artist into doing new covers. And then one thing I have to start also, like this week, is learning Facebook ads. That's my new big thing. Yeah, I want to do large print. It's like an underserved market, and it's not like it'd be super hard to do. My formatting program should make it easy. The books will be like larger, but so we're just like painting that dark color on there and waiting for it to dry to see. You can see that that's a darker color. And I'm going to take it even darker for the very bottom part. So how much of your black primer you really want to keep is up to you. If you want really dramatic, then you've got to take your shadows almost to black. And how dramatic you want it is up to you. Oh, I'm glad you're wearing them again, Twisted Oma. But yeah, Facebook ads is like the number one. I'm about to run a bunch of promotions from newsletter sites like Book Barbarian and Fussy Librarian. That is lined up on East of the Sun. East of the Sun, by the way, on the ebook version will be on sale for 99 cents, starting on the 2nd or 3rd. I'll probably put it up at some point on the 2nd. The official promos start on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But I decided that it would be kind of interesting to contrast that with Facebook ads. So I will do a week worth of those promos and see what kind of results I get. And then I will do, for my first time ever, a week worth of Facebook ads and keep the book at 99 cents for that second week, and see how they compare and contrast. I thought that would be a cool experiment. And it would make me finally learn Facebook ads, which I was coming around to. Like, now that I've got 3 books, I feel like I can do that and hopefully not lose too much money. We'll see. We shall see. All right, we'll continue. I'm actually going to get, yeah, that's darkening down now. You can see how that color is darker than this orange up here. And we also are covering over more of the primer, although there's still, you can see areas where you can see the primer still through it. Hey there, Shadow Raven. And then the last thing is one of the dog people I met at the show does voice lessons. And I'm going to contact her about doing voice lessons so that I can record the audiobook of East of the Sun. Or at least I can give a shot at it. Right? Doing it myself. So I'll have to get my voice in shape, and then I'll need to get the software I want if I'm not going to just use GarageBand. And then I have to look into a pop filter for my mic, or get a different mic. It's going to be a long time, let's just say that. But I feel like meeting her and talking to her about like voice conditioning stuff was kind of a sign from the universe that maybe I could start thinking about this now. Because if I'm doing it myself, I can just record a chapter a week and slowly get there. to grab, this is a little bit of a hair there, so I'm going to pull it out of the paint. Kiki got a piece of lint on my paint job. It's all you, Kiki. I know it's you. There we go. There's a really big long hair there. Definitely a Kiki fur because it's curly. It's a curly little Kiki fur. Got it. She does. She was pretty, like, I'm sure the trip was stressful for her, but she was also pretty spoiled. She got more time playing with Daddy at the dog show than, like, she's ever gotten in a day. Because David would, like, finish, like, playing his Zelda game or flopping around on the internet, and then he'd get up and he'd take her out and throw the ball. It was at a fairgrounds, and we were in the pavilion, and there was a big piece of big lawn out in front that was more or less fenced in from the road, so we took her off leash and threw ball for her a lot. So she got, even though it was the stress of traveling for her, she also got a lot of time with Mommy and Daddy that she doesn't normally get. So yeah, so we can really see the difference between the brown and the orange now. So I really want to bring some orange down into that again. We kind of, I didn't do the wet blend up here. I just let it stop. So I want to go over that transition period, mark. So I'm going to use a brush stroke that's pointed down, and I'm going to pull back up to the top. That's a standard layering brush stroke, as I like to call it. It enables you to get a nice thin stroke at the start. Another news, thank you guys. The new book came out and it did pretty well on release, so I'm very happy. Thank you all who got the new book. Rite of Winter. We already have 4 reviews, so I'm hoping that we get up to 10 relatively quickly. So if you're reading, I would love it if you could leave a review. It doesn't have to be a written review. It can just be stars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, development does suck that way. What is that? I can't decide if that's a little piece of plant or what. I think it is a little piece of plant, and I painted it orange. Oh well. So now I have a much better blend there. So just like a little attention where you're pulling that orange back down in is going to give you that light, because we do have that transition zone between the brown and now we can see the dark part and the lighter part. And we are going to put more highlights on as well. But I do want one more shadow area, darker. So I'm going to go almost all the way down to russet brown on this. The other thing I could do is mix in something with black in it if I wanted really, really dark. But I should get enough contrast just by using russet brown. And we're just going to do that along the very bottom of the jaw there. And I'll put just a little tiny bit of orange in my russet brown. Ah, that was way too much. All right, a little bit of orange in there. So I put a couple brushfuls of orange in there. It's not going to change the color appreciably, just a little. But it is quite dark, as you can see. Helicopter dragonflies, huh? You go ahead and bow, Thormel. We all appreciate your work in conservation. You are our favorite bog person. In fact, I feel like Reaper should do a wetlands awareness model and have Thormel design it. Yes, we should have a Thormel bog monster miniature. This is my personal opinion. So since I thinned this a lot, it's not going to be super dark, and I'm going to get some brown liner. But I really want to darken. I want to get a nice transition. You can see that now kind of coming up. So it's not just the light. As long as it's wearing chest waders. Yep, bye Jetta. There's a bog shambler mini. Yeah, but it has to wear chest waders. You heard Thormel. That's the criteria. I'm going to put some brown liner in here and get that also in as a shader. The nice thing about building this progression of browns and oranges is that then I can use that middle brown to shade like the stuff on the top, right? The warts and bumps, and because it's a lumpy pumpkin. We could have also gone like crazy, like, you know, orange, green, white on the pumpkin, but I feel like that has the chance to pull back attention from the bats, so I'm going mostly traditional. However, the fact that I'm darkening this down, guys, is going to help the bat still carry his own weight. Darkening down a lot of the pumpkin will help it not be a screaming orange horror that immediately draws your attention. And I'll probably make his eyes like orange gold so that it'll be a lighter and brighter version of this, so that attention will go here first and then go around. Nope, it's a bat. See the little wings? He's a little bat. That's why he got giant ears. We'll probably do him like a flying fox because we looked up pictures week before last. And I like the flying foxes. This is the Ghoulie bag mini, Lisana, though it's very smaller. It's much smaller. They did the small version for the Ghoulie bag, but Jason had this one at ReaperCon. And I sweet-talked him into letting me paint it. Mostly because I gave him a great pugling. Y'all, many of you saw pugling at the show. I do have one finished picture, informal finished picture of pugling. Oh, we also saw a Norwegian troll. An actual Norwegian troll. Kiki got to meet an actual Norwegian troll in Seattle. There's Kiki. Down there. And there's the Norwegian troll. There's a sculptor who went around putting Scandinavian trolls in various places in the Pacific Northwest. Kiki also got to go to the ocean and walk over a lot of driftwood. She had a good vacation, I think. Well, let's see here. Oh, hey, there's the bat we're going to do. We're going to do the spectacled flying fox. Even though he's got little tiny ears. Where is my... Crap, I totally forgot what I was looking up. Oh, there, pugling. Informal pugling picture. Informal finished pugling picture. That's how he ended up. Hey there, Richard. No, she went up to a Twistodoma. It is Fender. Fender the Defender. Completely finished. But yeah, so I painted that, and because I finished it and gave it to Jason, I was like, can I have the Batling? And he just gave it to me. So I'm going to get... going to get a paint job on this and probably give it to him next year. And I'll get pictures to Ron. It's like puglings.org or something, Twistoma. They aren't out yet. Jason's had a lot of challenges this last year, so he just has not had... He's not been able to finish the line. And he wants to kickstart it, so he's got to have the line finished pretty much before they go into that. Alright, so I'm going to grab this brown liner and go down here way low. Make sure that I'm lining the bottom part there. And I can mix my brown liner together with my russet brown to make a very dark band of shadow along the bottom. Very, very, very dark. Doing okay, Wansling. How are you? Alright, this is my first day back after an 8-day road trip, so I am so happy to be home. But yeah, it was good watching the D&D movie, Kariniko, because I know you wanted the paladin from the D&D movie. I had a fun morning while driving, imagining the reasons he might be looking for love, or not looking for love, but going to stumble into it anyway. Writing a romance is going to be kind of fun, scary but fun. Scary because it's not my usual thing. I need to make a whole new beat sheet for it. Get these little guys down here. Went up to Seattle to visit David's folks and to go to the Shiloh Shepherd National Show with Kiki so that people could meet her. So we were in Seattle proper, and then we were out south and west of there in Etna, which is a little town on the way to the ocean. But it was really cute. Like, the fairground building was really nice, and there was a good diner that had really good breakfast and supper, and the hotel was even nice, and yeah, it was like best kept out in the boonies, Washington. But it was 2 days drive up, and then we had a 2-hour drive out to Etna, and then 2 days back. So we stayed two days in Seattle and 2 days at the show. Total 8 days. And the only bad thing is it destroys my back when I do those trips, but I survived. So we've got a nice, you can see the shading. Nice contrast. Now we can start bringing up the orange. So let's start highlighting on the front, and we'll do the back next time. Maybe I'll do the shading if I have time at the end of the stream. But you can see the difference. Like, that's just flat. And now we have more dramatic. But yeah, it was dog related, and we will use a combo. Remember I mentioned we would use a combo of burnt orange and sunrise. Or sorry, that's explosion. I don't want explosion, do I? Maybe I want explosion. Yeah, actually maybe explosion is the right choice here. So explosion is also a pretty vibrant orange, but it already has a little bit of red oxide in it. Nice long vacation in 2 hours. Nice. Are you going to go striding around bogs on your vacation, Thormel? I'm just so happy to be back and to get back in my routine. Too many vacation things this year. Oh, nice. Yeah, wyverns count. They're dragonkin. Let's put a little bit of that in, and let's see if that brightens up our burnt orange just a little bit. We just want it to be a little bit more saturated. Oh, nice. Good for you, Nara. Oh, and there's Twistoma, too. I always wonder why you don't work on your vintage stuff instead of your armies, Richard. Like, do you take breaks to paint your vintage stuff every once in a while, or are you just kind of putting it off? Till you have a good idea or a... What's your strategy, man? I'm going to use a little bit. This is really, it's the right color, guys, but it's lacking a little bit of coverage, so I'm going to put a tiny bit of white in it. Oh, nice, Nara. Oh, good, Shadow Raven. Yay. Shark folk, yeah. It's really difficult, Wansling. Often I will texture with like stippling if I'm going to be highlighting. Obviously, a lot of people use airbrush, but honestly, a lot of glazing if you want things to smooth. I would probably stipple it, like wet blend it, do a little bit of stippling, and then do glazing on it with a big brush. Mixing back and forth between my midtone and my highlight. I think that'll work. But yeah, if I was painting a shark folk or something like that where it was a bust and it was a big flat surface, I'd get a smooth base coat down, then I'd probably wet blend my initial shadow to highlight, and I would use a big brush for that. Because it's a big space. I mean, the big thing with big spaces is most people are trying to paint them with their normal brushes, and it really helps if you go in with a much bigger brush. So like people will try to paint a big surface with their usual brush when actually doing this might be better. This is a number 2, series 7. But yeah, I'd say go for like a size 2 at the minimum. And remember, different brands, the sizes are going to be a little different. No, we're trying to preserve Wansling's actual brain, Shadow Raven. Yeah, I mean, you'll find it a lot easier if you're trying to wet blend on a big surface. You're going to find it a lot easier to use a bigger brush. Because the paint will, you'll put more paint down and the paint will stay wet longer. Remember to thin your base coat a bit so that you can get a nice smooth base coat. Let's test this and see. I'm going to stipple as I like paint these big lumps. I don't think they make rollers tiny enough for a bust. Oh, I do bust painting. Busts are what I prefer to do. We were just painting a giant dragon bust before I left for my trip. Starting on this guy. So he's still got a lot of white primer, but I'm working out colors, so. And do I have any other busts that I'm working on? No, I have no other busts around here. But I am planning to start a new one soon. Yeah, that's wet blending, Wansling. That's wet blending. You do the yellow first, the yellow-orange first, and then you do just a little bit of the red at the bottom, and you just stipple wet into wet. And it's super easy. Learning wet blending when you're doing big areas can really be a lifesaver. And I have a video on my YouTube on how to do it, if you haven't looked at my fundamentals of miniature painting stuff. So if you aren't sure how to do wet blending, look at my fundamental video. And that's painting big. I can't remember if it's one word or two on YouTube. Quindy might have a link for you eventually if she's here. But yeah, I did a fundamentals of mini painting series on my YouTube, and it's got all like examples of me doing all the basic traditions like wet blending. I'm doing micro wet blending right now, but yeah, it's like I paint what I want, Wansling. Like on this show, I have to paint Reaper stuff. But I pretty much choose what models I want to paint as far as Reaper. And then I don't do commissions anymore. I like have one batch of commissions for George R. R. Martin that I still have to finish at some point. And I'll probably actually get on that this fall. Start getting on that. Because that means we get to go to Santa Fe, and I love Santa Fe. YouTube. YouTube, Quindy. If you would. The fundamentals of miniature painting stuff. But yeah, so I paint whatever. I just choose. Like I always look at the Reaper new releases. There's always some stuff that I'd like to do. As far as my own painting though, like the dragon bust, I just wanted to paint it. And there's actually a fairy dragon bust that I can't wait to download once we get our new 3D printer set up. So just messing around kind of with the highlighting here to see how I like it. Oh, that's Reaper. We need painting big YouTube. Sorry. I should have specified. Oh, sorry, we don't allow yes, my YouTube. Sorry, Wansling, we don't allow links. Only mods can post links here. So if you look down there, my YouTube is 3 up from the bottom. It is one word, so it's YouTube/@paintingbig, all one word. And if you go there, the stuff that's most popular is my fundamentals of miniature painting. Right now I'm started a series on how to paint non-metallic metal as well, so I'm doing one of those a month. So just trying to get, I think my light may be a little subtle, but we'll see. I thought my light orange was going to be way too harsh, but it's actually playing not nearly as light as I thought it would once it dries. Yeah, sorry about that, Wansling. Yeah, only mods and Reaper can post links in here, but that's all right. It's just the nature of the beast because it's a Reaper official Reaper stream. If you want to share a picture of something, you can share it on the Reaper Discord, though. But yeah, if you go to my YouTube, you can watch my video on wet blending. It essentially is like the hows and whys and paint consistency and brush type, brush stroke. So yeah, that brings it up a little bit, but not as much as I thought. So I'm probably going to need to go even lighter. But I can at least get this working. I want to bring up a little bit of the upper edges of things with this light color. I know we just did the Zenith priming butts, and I used this, which is a mixture of 2 drops of orange brown, which already has a good coverage. It's kind of a burnt orange, dark orange, burnt orange, with 1 drop of volcanic orange to just make it a little bit more vibrant. And then I've shaded down, and then I'm highlighting up. But it looks like I'm going to have to highlight up a little bit more. My dark color took up quite a large portion of the pumpkin, so I am kind of feeling like I need to scale that back a little bit with some layering. Hope things get better for you soon, Shadow Raven. Most of the problems we all go through are self-induced, I think. So, all the sympathies. I hope it resolves. I'm going to do a little bit of blending up at the top here. Get the top parts of this. I don't find that it's better or worse, Wansling. It just depends on your personal style. I want to make these yellow, so I'm going to be doing a white undercoat in there. But this model is so big that I don't feel I'm going to have any trouble. Like, would it have been faster and like, you know, probably faster would have been the advantage of doing the eyes first. But I kind of wanted to get, like, my oranges figured out first, so it's nothing in miniature painting is better or worse. Like, it's only what your style is. So for me, I'm not aiming to speed paint this, and I like to take my time and kind of watch the model evolve as it goes, and I know I have the brush control to easily paint in these eyes and mouth and stuff. So for me, that I'm just going to go with the way where I feel it's more enjoyable rather than best practice if I'm painting fast, right? Because yeah, if you want to, like, if you don't have good brush control, then probably you wanted to take your yellow or whatever you're going to do in here, right? And just fill in those eyes before you paint the orange, right? Because then you can be messy, and it won't matter because you haven't painted the orange yet. But here I'm already starting with a zenith, so I'm like already kind of trying to be a little more precise with my underpainting and stuff, but yeah, it really, don't let anybody ever tell you that there's just like a best way to do anything in mini painting. It just depends on you and your skill set and what your goals are. Like, there we go. Man, everything is drying up super fast today because it's so dry. So dry and like 96 today. And no AC in this house. What did I come back to? I thought it was going to be cool by the time I got back, guys. I'm also dealing with the fallout of my own bad choices as I ate very poorly on the road. Now I'm grumpy at myself because I probably gained 5 pounds on this vacation. So bringing in a little bit of that shadow color to bring these guys out, see? Doing just a little bit of shading. Contrast is what brings out details. All right. Yeah, this lighter orange is really not as light as I had hoped. Now we're gonna also, like I said, the eyes and everything, we are gonna paint them in yellow. So yeah, they're gonna be a bit different. Now, there's an argument for not doing the eyes and mouth and everything lighter, and that would be like contrast, right? Probably I'll try to do one eye and see if I like it. If I don't like it, then we'll leave it dark. Like we'll paint it in more of a dark color. And we'll leave the jack-o'-lantern unlit, since we're doing it as if this is daylight lit. So like, you could choose either way. Hey Polly, thanks for that resub. 27 months. Sweet. Yeah, I do need to make another highlight. Damn it. Damn it! So I'm just going to take my existing highlight and add a little bit more white to it. Because it's yellow enough that I probably don't need to add any yellow. You could use a yellow white, you could use Osirian sand if you wanted to. Sure, Quindy. Okie dokes. Alright, now I'll take in this really light one. Yeah, this is more like what I wanted my top highlight to be. I can see that a lot more. So if I bring that up here and do a little bit, and it's rounded, right? The surface is rounded, so I want to do a little bit of a rounded highlight. And I can take my previous highlight and paint over the edge. You don't need to wet blend, you can just paint over the edge on something like this and you'll be fine. So that looks a little bit better. That's getting that light color up there a lot more. There we go. So yeah, that's coming up a lot better there. Good. That's okay, Polly. We still appreciate you. You can be late. You'll just slowly see the Batling like pull together as we paint it over the coming week or weeks. I suspect weeks. We'll see how long this takes because it is a bigger model. And as we've learned with Sophie, among other models, it does take longer to paint these big guys. So yeah, getting that lighter orange in here helps a lot. kind of do a line edge highlight here a little bit. So I do want to do that eye light. And the other thing that's going to happen there is the orange is going to look darker once I put that light in. That's okay, Quindy. I know you're... Is it still as crazy? I bet it takes a long time after a storm hits for your construction business to really calm down, huh? All right. I'm going to take some pure white, add just a little water to it, not a lot. Let's fill in this one eye and see how that throws things. Oh, you didn't get hit by the last storm, you just got... That's right, it went wide of you, didn't it? You just got some water. We'll block in this in white. Oh, it's the doctor you're dealing with. Oh. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's funny, or not funny, but the Asheville, which is one of the Carolina cities that really got hit recently. Like, David's parents were there like the week before that storm hits. So yeah, since this is so big, it's really easy for me to paint in the white. Oh, yep, have a good lunch shot already then. So you're getting that in. And we'll decide if we like it lit up or if we don't. I'll paint over the yellow. So we're putting the white in there purposefully. So that we can, oh. Yeah, I got white a little bit on that edge. But you know what? And it's just a touch-up. And again, this is a big version of the model. The actual version of this model that's being given out in the Ghoulie bag is much smaller than this. So you may want to do the yellow first. But yeah, I mean, best practice is best practice for you. It's just the kind of my point. A lot of us are always looking, like a lot of us have a type of brain that's always looking for the best way to do things, when the best way to do things is not always the way that other people do it. If for you, you have to figure out the best way that you can do something. This is the giant trap in mini painting and like watching everybody's videos and everybody's streams, and you know, you see a ton of different painters with a ton of different opinions about what's the best way to do something, when actually your best way may not be any of those ways. I'm actually going to put, I think, a little bit of burnt orange in here, guys, into this lantern yellow. The reason is that, like, when I think of pumpkins, actually I have a picture of an illuminated pumpkin. Let me see. Of course, photography never quite does it justice. I have to go back to when I worked for Reaper because Sadie and I did a pumpkin for the jack-o'-lantern contest at Reaper. I think it was 2018. There we go. Oh yeah. We did an owl. This was the pumpkin that Sadie and I did. And at the end she actually put feathers on it too. But that was the owl that I carved. And we did the moon behind it. So then when it lit up, it looked like that. We did not win. I think John won. I think we got like third or something. I liked our owl though. It worked out really, really well. But yeah, so that's pretty much like, given it, you know, it's definitely being blown out by the camera, but you can see the orange, yellow, white, right? So I feel like I want a little bit of orange in there. Yeah, I liked our owl pumpkin. I thought was great. I like doing the moon behind it too. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of burnt orange into this lantern yellow. We'll put the lantern yellow over and add a little bit of white. Yeah, I like carving pumpkins. David never wants to carve with me. He did the first year we were together. Then he decided it was boring and he'd rather be painting miniatures. Fine, fine. I'll do it all myself. That might be too yellow. But yeah, inside out is just one way to paint. And it depends on how neat you are. It depends on if you mind painting things over. I really don't. I don't have a problem with retouching things if I get a little blorfy. Which I was actually just talking about on one of the paint along videos for this month, is that the minute you get okay with painting over something, like just doing it more than once, is like, it can take so much anxiety out of the act of mini painting for you. If you are the type to get a little anxious about starting a project because you think you have to do it, you know, some part of you thinks you need to do it really well and you're doubting whether you can do it that well, or any number of other hang-ups. If you just make peace with the fact that you can always paint over it because it's acrylic. Acrylic is infinitely paint overable. Maybe not infinitely, but close. Like, it's going to reduce a lot of your stress because it's like, oh, I blorfed. Well, I'm just going to touch that up. And when you cease to care about that, when it ceases to be a problem or a fault, that's when you can, like, really tackle like any anxiety you may have about starting like a project you've been saving for forever because you want to be good enough before you start it. It doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of white actually in the center here and wet blend it a little bit. This is still wet, so I'm able to do this. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just okay. Everything on social, and there's been a lot of discussion about this, right, on the internet. Everything on social media is curated, right? I like to leave the blurfs in when I shoot a video because it shows you guys that I'm not just telling you this stuff, I do this stuff. I walk the talk, so to speak. I don't care if I mess up on stream. I don't care. I'll just touch it up. It's the easiest thing in the world. And I just don't get caught up in it. I just don't I don't judge myself if I make a wrong move. It's not a big deal. Just paint over it. Nobody else is going to know. And even if they know, they're still going to be impressed with the end product. It's like when you get that perfect eyeball. People aren't going to ask you, or maybe they are going to ask you how many times did you have to try that before you get it right. And if you tell them, I had to do it 16 times till I got it right, they'll be like, wow. And they'll be like, wow, it really looks good. Right? So there's, with this hobby, there is no shame in taking your time and doing it over. The end result is what people see. Yeah, show you in progress pics. Yep. And that's okay. If it takes you a long time, that's fine. I am a very, very slow painter, Wansling. And there are times when I get frustrated with it, and I just remind myself, I always try to speed up, and I don't enjoy it, and I don't like the look of the result. And then I remind myself that, I actually like taking my time, because it allows me to slowly see the model develop in a way that if I just threw it all together, I wouldn't be able to see. And I actually learn more this way. So guys, yellow eye or dark eyes? I would paint that one darker. Hold on. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's get it truly dark and not just primer. All right. So we can keep the face dark, or we can bring it light. What do you think? You want a lit up jack-o'-lantern or a carved but not lit up jack-o'-lantern? Light. Yeah. But I mean, I like taking my time. There are times I wish I painted faster, but it just means I'm not. It means that if I want to finish things fast, then I need to paint consistently. It means I need to paint more nights a week, for example, right? That's the trade-off for me. And I'm faster. Honestly, you do get faster, Wansling, as you learn. As you paint busts, you will notice that at some techniques, you're going to keep getting faster. It's going to be okay. Not lit up. Yeah, you feel like the eye doesn't look good because the pumpkin isn't dark. Man, we're okay. It's got to be a poll now. Because I've got equal. Let's do a poll. Lit up jack-o'-lantern or not lit up or dark jack-o'-lantern? Do we have time for a poll, Quindy? Do you have time or are you busy? I guess it's the end of the stream. We usually do polls right at the end of the stream anyway. Oh no. I'm getting in the habit of last minute polling. I'll highlight more of my lumps while there we go. But I'm either way, Twisted Oma. I don't have a preference. All right, we got it. Vote, please, vote. I don't have, oh wait, I do have fluorescent. Never mind. I could do that. I don't know how that yellow would play, though. The problem with fluorescent yellow is it's definitely greener, right? And usually you want a warmer yellow here. But I do have fluorescents. I bought them at ReaperCon. No, Richard. Come on now. Trolling. Unfortunately, I don't have a black light. I'd have to get a black light if I was going to try to paint this with fluorescent. It could be fun. I think I'd want to finish it normally, take a picture for Ron, and then put in the fluorescents. Because they're really... Fluorescents are like hyper saturated, hyper light, right? So I think I bought the green. I've got a green and I think I've got a green, yellow, and magenta. Of the 2 boring options offered. So far, lit up is winning. We need a real run on not lit up. But yeah, we are capable of doing fluorescence. We have the technology. Because I got those cuttlefish colors and they have really good fluorescence. Don't bother buying fluorescent paints for miniatures unless you buy the cuttlefish, in my opinion. Not gonna do LEDs. Too much work. I'm lazy and I'm noping out. Kiki is here. She wants her walk. Right, Keeks? You know it's hot out, right? She's gonna be like, what did we do? Because we were just in really cool climate and now we're back here. What the temperature? It's already over 80 with an excessive heat warning today. All right, it looks like lit up. Wait, it's not quite done yet. Vote now or never. Lit up it is. All right, we will go with the yellers. Excellent. All right. We will be back tomorrow to do that. We will fill in the yellow on the jack-o'-lantern and continue working on the orange. There's another way I could actually shade this that I didn't think about, but maybe we'll think about it. Using some green to shade orange is actually something that works. Yeah, lit by a very large margin. Yeah. Well, Batty's not going to be black. He's just dark, I think. Where's our Batty picture? Yeah, he's dark. So he has dark brown. Dark brown with light around his eyes. I might make his eyes like orange-yellow instead of the dark color, though. See, he's like got a flying fox nose, but he doesn't have flying fox ears because the flying fox have tiny ears. All right. Yeah, have fun on your vacation, Thormel. And by the time you come back, Batty will be either done or close, I think. But y'all have great... thank you for tuning in for my first stream in a while and the first bat stream. Same bat time, same bat channel. Tomorrow. I will be doing it until it's done, Laura. So we're going to be doing Batty every day for October. Until it is absolutely done. Yeah, it was nice to see you again, Wansling. Bye-bye. But yeah, so all of this month until it is done, we'll be painting the Batling to make sure that we get it done in October and not have my usual thing where we overshoot and are still working on a Halloween model in December. All right? Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Quindy, for herding the cats as always. And I hope I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great one.